What's up, Pat? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Across the Chain.
Oh, hey, Jared. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How are you doing today in this crazy red market?
I don't know, man. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's up, because this is not good. It's really not good. I'm feeling like
The world is ending.
some pressure.
Uh,
Last
hey,
last bounce we were talking about was a bounce.
can you move the screen over, man?
It was a 1 day bounce.
I can you move the screen over so I can
Which screen are you asking for?
the so I can look at the market.
Uh,
Yeah, man. What was my prediction?
I don't
At
know.
the
It was
end of-
wrong. It's fucking
it was-
wrong, man.
It was disastrously wrong. I think I said that we'd be like around like 37 and a half or something.
What are we at right now?
It kept bouncing back and forth. We are at what are we talking about? So Bitcoin is down this last week 27%. About last 24 hours, it's down 6.62. Ethereum's down 10. It's also down almost 30. It's at 28 and a half for the week. The only thing on the rise is stable coins, except for the wow. I don't even know what to say about UST and Luna, but
Yeah,
this
so
last week
explain this
has
to me like a layman. What's going
been
on?
a
So
disaster.
this is a stable coin that's dipped below $1.
Yeah, so
Okay.
obviously it's supposed to be pegged at $1. So and Luna's been one of the it's been a top three, or UST has been a top three stable coin or stable token, and it's just explode. It's just like imploded. It's trading at 68 cents right now.
Okay, so what was the philosophy behind the pegged token in the first place? Because I know there was a ton of heat coming from traditional investment institutions being like, "That's not even possible," and then the stable token folks being like, "Oh, it's possible. Trust us."
So there's this is quite interesting. It goes off of an algorithm. So it
No shit, an
and,
algorithm.
and then it's backed by billions of dollars worth of other digital assets. So what it's really trying to play off of is the arbitrage in between Luna and the UST. And Luna is supposed to act as a shock absorber for UST. So and the arbitrage is between the both of them. But I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of like theories out there. One of my favorite is that this is an actual attack um, against their ecosystem. And logically looking at how like they played out the attack, it looks like a whale. Both. Uh, so what they knew about Luna, what was going to happen is that if the UST lost its peg, that it would then dive into Luna, right? And if
When
to
you say
absorb the
lost its
shock
peg, you mean effectively
to the dollar,
Okay.
right? And then so Luna's going to absorb the shock, but if they have to, worst case scenario, they're going to go into their reserves, which is like billions of dollars worth of digital assets, mostly Bitcoin. So they were famous for saying that they were going to be the number one Bitcoin holder. I don't think they actually attained that. MicroStrategy, I believe, is still the number one, but where they were going to have $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. So the my favorite theory right now, and what seems to be plausible, is that someone shorted Bitcoin, right, on their ecosystem. Both shorted Bitcoin and depleted or sold off about I think it was $285 million worth of UST. So they knew that Luna wasn't going to be able to absorb all that shock, and that Luna was going to be forced. So that Luna Foundation group, or Guard rather, was going to be forced to sell off their Bitcoin.
The guard.
Right.
Eat your words, the guard. Calling yourself the guard.
So imagine
The guard
this,
doesn't
right?
let this happen. The guard knows who's holding 285 million of their stable token, and is talking to that person, be like, "Hey, don't short Bitcoin on our
You
platform."
would think so.
That's what
Yeah.
a guard would do, Jared.
Yeah, you would think so. So I mean,
Pretentious.
logically, this actually makes sense, and I mean, honestly, it's quite brilliant. But looking at the ecosystem, this person knew that if they dumped all their UST, that they would be forced to go into the Bitcoin reserve, and because they're such a major Bitcoin holder, that it would decrease the value of Bitcoin. So what did they do? They shorted Bitcoin. So they dumped their cash. They realized that they're going to have to then sell off Bitcoin, which is going to make a play for them on their short position. And
When you say that, you're talking about an investor?
I'm talking about the whale, right?
The
so
whale.
This is all coming down to the whale, who apparently sold $285 million worth of UST, which then forced this sell-off in the short position. Meanwhile, the market was already going down.
We got to be able to know
Right.
who this guy is, right? Because, like, look,
Why isn't there?
I've met a
some
lot
sort
of rich
KYC?
people, a lot of rich folks, and 285 million rich. There's not a lot of people that can hide behind 285 million or in front of
No.
it, to say it better. You can usually figure out with that kind of wealth who it is and how they have it. No,
And maybe they know it, and and this is where all the conspiracy theories come in, that it was actually like an internal team member or whatever, and these are all just theories. Like, none of this is true, but regardless, like, this it brought to light a lot of issues, right, with regulation behind stable coins, and it forced dude. All right, let's like kind of. This show isn't going to be structured like normal, because I think we're going to have a little bit of a shorter show, but
we're angry
just because it's such a shit show right now that like I'm kind of all over the place and can't. Let's see. So like when I was looking at the news section, this was all just. Everything is just negative. Bitcoin dips below 3,000. Extreme fear back in focus. Bitcoin plunges 50% from all-time highs. Everything's bearish. The Great Panic. This is the Luna dump. Tron CEO deposits 100 million Tether as everyone's moving into stable coins. So where we see stable coins starting to go up, and then we see. That's because people are selling out of their crypto to go into like a stable token.
Mm-hmm.
Celsius is getting crushed as customers complain of withdrawal issues. It's like everybody, the whole market. Dogecoin is going under 10 cents. Like, this is just like the most. Oh wait, here we go. Mr. Bean joins NFTs. That's great.
Oh, it's not just Mr. Bean. I think Madonna's vagina is up in those NFT.
Oh, there we go. Nice, dude. That seems beautiful.
No, I mean, yeah. It depends what era of vagina it is.
We're not
I mean, they're all beautiful. I'm just saying, Madonna's really stretching the years.
All right, so we were before we got sidetracked with the news. Where were we diving into this? We're going into just the negative sentiment of crypto. Here's what this all boils down to, because it's not just crypto, it's the whole financial market, right? So like, let's look at so all cryptocurrencies are down. Let's look at where the stocks are, or rather, I want to click on we'll go back to this in a sec. Let's see.
I mean, I'll tell you where they are, Jared.
There.
The toilet.
They're in the toilet. They're in the
toilet. I mean, okay.
So,
I mean, for a guy like me, who's got no 401k, no savings, never had a proper job in his life, all I've got is the cryptocurrency. And I don't know. Here's what I'm stressed about. Here's what I'm not stressed about. I'm stressed that the amount of energy and effort it's going to take for me to sort out which projects to get involved with, or which projects are going to be leaders once the bounce comes back, is going to be just too much. And I'd love to just be able to sit on these projects and say I'm not worried, because I'm not in some respects. But I know that some of these projects are going to fold and do dog shit, and this is going to crush their momentum. And then I'm going to have to reshuffle and figure out then where to go. And that annoys me, because it's so time-consuming.
Well, and this right now is where people get screwed the most, right? Because this is where they start seeing a lot of sell-offs, and they get scared and they sell. When realistically, so you're talking about what investments to move your money into. right now is actually the buying opportunity. So right now is the time. Obviously,
That's what they say, right?
That's what
they
Warren
say.
Buffett will say. Yeah. And so if you're already down a lot and you believe in the project and it's strong, then for me personally, I would be holding on to the investment. It's not worth taking a loss unless there's something greater, some other project that you believe in. But this is typically where we start seeing a lot of people lose a lot of money. So if you hold on to your investment, you believe in the project, I think that's going to be a greater turnaround for you. But right now, when everything is down, this is where you want to look at what teams, what projects, what companies can sustain the downfall, right? Can they have the money or the infrastructure and the team to continue to do development during this time period? And is there any project or company that is backed by something else, right? That isn't solely reliant on trading. So this is why in a down market like this, real estate is always going to be, even though real estate's kind of getting crushed right now too, anything passive income like real estate is typically going to be one of the safer investments because we're just getting started in this downturn. We don't know where this is going to go. We're at the lowest point now since 2020, and here you can see that let's enlarge this, that we're seeing Bitcoin come back on exchange. So when we see Bitcoin come back on exchange, that's usually an indicator that people are selling, right? So you can see that. You can see the price going down as Bitcoin is coming back on exchange, which means it's coming from cold wallets back on exchange to convert into like a stable token. So if I'm making a decision right now, kind of answer your question, where to put your money, look for a project or company that is capable of continuing their operations in a bear market, because when the market turns around, it's going to carry them right with it, right? So especially if they're backed with that, right? So when you look at DCAP, our token, it's backed by BNB, right? So BNB is getting obliterated right now. So
is it?
Yeah. So it takes the value of DCAP down with it, right? But we have the infrastructure to sustain a bear market. So even if nobody trades DCAP and you hold DCAP, even no one trades it, as BNB inevitably will turn around when we go back into a bull market, the value of DCAP is going to continue to rise with it. So not to mention that, not to talk about our company because we try to keep them separate. We're going into an acquisition phase right now to purchase property. So right now, so when you're looking at a token or project, especially one that can create revenue, right now is the best time for those small cap coins to be trading on them, because when you get into them when they're low like this, those projects are accumulating more of the token that's being backed by it, right? So like in our case, we're backed by BNB. So the more volume that we can get on BNB or on DCAP right now, the more BNB we're going to collect in the liquidity pool, which means that when BNB turns around, as it inevitably will, we're going to get that much more value out of it because we're going to be able to collect that much more BNB right now because BNB is on the cheap.
I feel that. I just feel like right now there is look, it's challenging because there's not an example of a technology-based investment that's had staying power, right, in its first upswing, right? And I feel like we're still at the end of a first upswing, and I think people are panicking right now, and they're saying things like, go to zero, we're going to zero, we're going to zero. And there's so many haters out there that want it to happen. It's just a bad time for crypto. I mean, it's a bad time for the economy at large, man. It's a bad time for the economy at large.
It's everything. It's not just crypto. So, but also it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to put your money into cash?
Cash? What? No, it's dirty.
We're having inflation through the roof. It's all just bad, man. And there's not much to do about it, but weather the storm, and that's kind of where we want to focus.
So BlackRock, right,
Ugh.
and
Oh, yeah.
Citadel, they're denying that they were behind this Luna situation.
Yeah, Citadel got called out for that. I didn't know about BlackRock, but at the same time, there were a lot of people who were saying because they're involved in the project, they and mind you, like those are two easy targets, right? Because those are the organizations that easily could have had
Right.
$285 million. So I don't know, man. It's regardless if they are behind it or not behind it, people lost billions of dollars on Luna, and they've got to figure that out. So we can see here that we are now fresh in the lowest period since
People are talking about $25,000 support. People are talking about
2020.
$22,000 support.
I yeah.
Compromiso
there-
amigo.
There's no. I mean, so there's like see how we can actually draw support lines here, right? So like we can look at this and be like, oh, this is historically support areas because it's bounced off of it like several times,
Right.
We can't really look at a support line here. I mean, I guess you can say 23.4. There was like some support here, but that's
Doesn't feel like enough, Jared.
it's not enough, Pat. It's just not enough.
All right, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to keep buying $60 of Bitcoin every week, as I have been doing since 2017.
I would.
What do you want? I'm just going to stay at it. I'm going to stay at it. I'm going to watch my shit coins go to shit. I'm going to watch my Luna go to shit. But hey.
Oh, do you have Luna?
Yeah, I'd say I have it all, Jared.
I like your diversified portfolio.
If it's losing, I've got it.
Yeah, that's typically how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I know it's going to be a scary time for a lot of people out there. This is just another reminder: don't invest what you can't afford to lose. And if you have that mentality, then you can weather these types of storms. Like I haven't been selling anything personally, right? Because everything I have in there, I have in for long term, and I'm not trying to make swing trades, or I'm not trying to scalp. And if I was, I'd use a different fund for that. So right now it's just kind of that time where we weather the storm and look for good opportunities, right? Look for projects and companies that can sustain a bear market. This is the development period right now. Like the bear market is where you start seeing new projects come out of the woodworks, where you find the projects that couldn't weather the storm, right? And this is what separates the good from the bad, is this period right now. So use that as an opportunity. Look at this as an opportunity, I think.
Okay, sure, whatever.
In the meantime, we'll just continue to give our perspective on the market and where we think it's going to go. This whole thing with Luna, though, is
it just pisses me off because it's like you can't come out and be like, nah, man, it's pegged, and then make us all look bad.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out, bud. You're a representative of the movement.
I agree.
And oh man, Cardano's down.
Everything's down.
Okay.
Everything. I don't know what's up right now. Maybe. So this right here, honestly, okay. So when we're talking about where Bitcoin's gonna go, this is what we want to watch. In my opinion, we want to watch Glassnode because we want to see how much of Bitcoin is coming back to the exchange. The more Bitcoin that comes back to the exchange, likely the lower the price is gonna go. So if we look at resistance and support lines here, it's actually inverse with when looking at this. We're looking around we're almost there. So what we want to see is we don't really want to see more than I would say 25 or 2.5 million Bitcoin hit the exchange. 2.6 at the highest.
I don't want to see any. I don't want to see any of it hit the exchange, bro.
Yeah. Keep that stuff in the cold wallet. So yeah, I don't think that there's any way to say that there's support below 20 right now, below 28.5, 29,000.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very different scenario than we were in 2000, because there is so much more Bitcoin off exchange. So we're going to continue to watch this and follow it and see where Bitcoin goes from on and off exchange. And we'll continue to deliver our our opinion on what's going to happen.
There you have it.
So and you know, don't force projections on me, Pat. Like,
bro,
you forced that out of me. I didn't even want to give it last week, and the first time I gave a projection, look what happened.
Look, no one's holding you to it except everyone. I don't know, man. I'm along for the ride. Doesn't matter. I take your projections with a grain of salt, but I hear you.
Yeah. So, and look for those gems. Right now is that time to look for those gems. If you've got discretionary income, I would look for the gems.
Okay. Well, we know one. We know one gem.
Yeah, one gem. Hey, that's not a bad name. I like it.
There you go.
One gem.
All right, I got to go pick my poor son up from school.
Is he sick again?
No, he's just poor because he doesn't have any money. So whatever money I have is the money he has. So
his inheritance is going down the drain.
Oh my God, bro, it's bad.
Yeah, but all right, dude. I'll talk to you next week.
Next week, my friend.
All right, everyone, stay safe out there.